Wednesday 3.
Yeah, we had Wednesday 1.
No question in my mind.
He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix, most of his country, of course.
On the defense, talking about it. You better get your ass involved. You better get involved.
I just gotta say, when it comes to former Dallas,
Different.
For sure, and they would have thrown it off because
And this guy gets off you.
Smaller from and then I go to bed every night like G man, I promise you that we got a special What is up, Cowboys Nation? See your boy working overtime. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe. All that kind of good stuff. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Got a little Cowboys football on Saturday. We, got another preseason game. And you got a little bit here, man. It's gonna be kickoff before you know it. So wanted to do a special show. Had to call my man Greg, kind of figure this thing out. We saw the preseason, got our second game under our belt. And, it didn't go very well again, especially on offense. So definitely want to get you guys' thoughts on that. So join the chat. Let me make them comments live so we can see them all. So what's up, Greg? How you doing? First of all, how was your weekend?
Weekend was great, man. I always say I don't have bad weekends. It's just bad people in your weekends. My weekend is great, man. I'm just enjoying it, getting ready for football season. I see you out there, Cuts. Yeah, and Mike Crum, thanks for reposting the stream, baby. And yeah. I'm just enjoying the weekend, man, and just loving it, waiting for the football season. That excitement before Christmas Day. That's where I'm at.
It's there, man. I had a good weekend. I went down one of my best friends growing up's 50th birthday. It was a surprise, so they did a little early, and one of those things in life, I'm just telling you guys, and I regret it a little bit, man. You got people in your life that are good to you and a big part of your life. Don't let years go by but without seeing them. So it was great to reconnect. I hadn't seen them in a little while, and definitely don't want to make it another many years until we connect again, especially when you live so close. You're only a couple hours away. So got to do that. So that was really cool. Went to the Hard Rock, and my brother was in town, my nephew. So played a little bit of roulette, and I turned a few $100 into $1,200. So it was nice. So I did that. That did good to kind of help with this Cowboys Cave tailgate party that we got going on. And I know everyone has hit up Cuts by Jones, and he's been working hard in the lab, man, getting these paddles done. And he sent me the list, man. We got a ton of people that did it, and all that donation goes to the tailgate. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't done it yet, you've got your opportunity to get that paddle, because we're going to spank that ass. I mean, hopefully we will after the first 2 weeks. I'm not sure, but I think we're going to spank that ass when we get our starters in, and you can get your custom cut by Cuts by Jones for the tailgate, man. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully we see you guys out there. It's going to be a lot of fun, but looking forward to it. But yeah, man, what did you guys in the chat and appreciate all the orders. I see some guys saying order. What did you guys think of the preseason? Obviously, Greg, hopefully you had a chance to watch it, but you guys in the chat does this create more concern for you, or are you one of those, I'm a old school preseason guy that be like, it's preseason, I'm not gonna panic too much, but there are some things that we're concerned.
Yeah. It's well, I noticed for the most part, this is one of the first seasons in a while that we've benched the majority of the starters, overwhelming majority of the starters. So I'm not expecting much out of these preseason games, to be honest with you. I didn't expect us to come out and win any of them once I saw that we were putting all the starters on the bench. And this good thing about it, though, Mike, is everybody is vying for a job. This gives them a full opportunity and plenty time to show what they got. And the concern I had right away, I noticed it right away in that first game was Tolbert. If you're going to sit, we're sitting about 90%, if not higher, of the starters. But Tolbert's playing full-time in both games. It makes me wonder, are they considering trading Tolbert and getting rid of him because we got these other people that can – out of wide receiver, and we got Pickens and we got Cavante, or what? Because I can see Tolbert playing the majority of the game, maybe the first one or something like that. But the fact that we got him in there just like everybody else now in this second game, I'm kind of concerned that his days may be numbered at Dallas when they really shouldn't be. But Milton to me,
that's it. Let's break into positions and we'll get for an overview. Milton is a concern, and I was very high on Milton. I still am. I mean, I'm not going to give up on anybody. He definitely has talent. I've seen his game. His decision making is terrible. And it's just like, what are you doing? I mean, he's forcing throws deep that he didn't need to. You and I talked about the interception that the Cowboys got before half. He had Deuce Vaughn underneath it. I mean, he's wide open, and he forces a throw in the end zone in double coverage for no reason. You live to play another play. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that really concerns me for Milton, is the decision making. Yeah,
and I saw that play too, and it really, as soon as I saw it open, I was like, oh, hit him right there real quick. That was easy. And he had, not only did he not wait, he had plenty of time, and I'm like, okay, there he is. He had at least 3 seconds to hit him wide open, nobody around him, and he didn't. But I noticed in the first game and in this one, he doesn't throw to the windows. So whatever play it is, when we got certain windows that you have to throw to because those receivers are going to be there, he doesn't throw to the windows. He holds the ball too long. He doesn't take immediately what's up under him. And then I think he's really trying to showcase the fact that everybody knows he's got a powerful arm. He's trying to showcase it more than he needs to, but he's getting in trouble when he showcases it. He's throwing it so far, and you got double coverage, and it's not going to make a difference unless we got a tall receiver, maybe like Mingo, and somebody can get that 50-50 ball. But Milton, to me right now, I have to give him a grade of awful. And they're going to have to it's going to take a lot of work from them to work with him to get him to understand you got to hit those windows. You got to hit those plays where they give them to you. And because that's his nature and he's done it on another NFL team, it's going to be hard to change that habit, really hard to change the habit. So maybe they can design specific plays whenever he comes in that don't require him to have to make that many decisions. Yeah,
and I mean, the thing is, and I agree right there. I mean, we're gonna look at every bit of it, but the thing with Milton and with Shoddy's doing, he's been very transparent, very open, that they're just running the plays. They're not doing any scheming. I mean, it's very vanilla. He doesn't want to show anything until the start of the season. He said there's no reason to give film. New coaches sometimes have an advantage because there's not a lot of tape on them. So he doesn't want to give tape. So I understand that part of it. But the trouble is, you got a guy like Mingo, you've got Tolbert, who's more of a veteran. So let's just say Mingo and some of these other receivers, Holden, that are fighting for jobs, and the quarterback just ain't helping them. Mm-mm. And I mean, you're not getting. I mean, you saw a beautiful bomb by Milton in the third quarter to Mingo, great play, 40+ yard catch. That was nice, but you're just not seeing the rhythm. Like that's what bothers me. Like this preseason, I don't see rhythm. Let's just get in a rhythm. Running the ball rhythm, passing the ball rhythm, nice easy passes. Just get into a rhythm of the game. And it just doesn't seem like, I don't know if it's Milton or the play calling or what their philosophy, or they're just forcing stuff just because they want to do it. But offensively, they just haven't looked good. In the running game, it's really not fair because it's obvious Williams is going to be their 1, Blue's going to be their 2, and then the other guys are going to mix in because they're not playing. And the offensive line, for the most part, isn't playing. Now, Booker played very well. He looked good. I mean, he looks like the real deal. I mean, early on, obviously it's preseason. But, I mean, it was good to see him get out there. But I would have liked to see some guys get in there and just get some rhythm going.
Yeah, when it started, the offensive line, they had almost everybody out there. I got to give it that. They did have starters out there on that very first drive. But then, and as far as the running game, let me tell you what I noticed. Malik Davis and Miles Sanders, in spite of the second, third string offense that we got out there, those two shining. Miles Sanders shining. Malik Davis came in 24 hours. And in that first game, Malik Davis showed out. He was awesome. Him and Miles Sanders, they have played one hell of a preseason so far in running back, in spite of the second and third string offensive lines we got. And then Milton's throwing, when he does throw the ball, intermediate error, and he throws like those little post patterns, he's throwing it in the right direction, but he's throwing it on sticky coverage. So it's not going to pierce that coverage to get to that receiver. Stevens, that wide receiver,
tight end,
and Kelly and Cropper, like you said earlier, Milton is not really giving them an opportunity to show their shine because he's not putting the ball on point. So these guys, and every now and then when they do catch one, they're catching good, phenomenal passes, but the majority of passes are going their way. They're nowhere near them. They're over their head. They're too low, or they're right on double coverage where the coverage is right there on their back so much where all they got to do is tap it. So they're not getting an opportunity to really show their shine. Yeah. And the offensive line right now, I give them, even the second, third string playing against other second and third strings, I give the offensive line maybe a C that's out there. But the defensive line is wide open. Everybody in both of these games have run through that defensive line like it doesn't even exist. And Mozzie is in trouble.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're talking about, because I was gonna ask you. Miles Sanders, I mean, are you thinking of Maffa? I don't know. Miles Sanders
Miles Sanders played decent in that last game.
Really? All right. Well, I don't.
And in this game, he had a couple of decent runs.
He didn't play in the last game. You thinking of
This game, I saw him take a couple of runs. He looked good. He looked decent in a couple of runs. Now, he didn't get that fourth down and one, but Malik Davis came in off the plane and showed out.
And I mean, Malik Davis he's a body. I mean, he's not going to make the team. I mean, they need a running back. I wish that they would play some of these guys, but they're not going to, because I'd like to see Williams. I'd like to see what Blue could do, but they're not going to do that if they don't have the starters in there. So that's the trouble with the running game. But what I wanted to address something, because I know it came up, and Eagles made a trade today. They got Menchie from the Texans, who's been kind of a disappointment for the Texans so far. And almost like the Dotson trade that they made last year. I give credit to the Eagles for trying. I do, sincerely. I tweeted this out. At least they're attempting to improve something, to where I don't think the Cowboys are attempting to prove anything, because, like you said, the run defense has been a problem, the defensive tackle, and I haven't seen them do anything. But let's not kid ourselves. I mean, Menchie, nice, but he's been a disappointment. Dobson, they traded. He was a disappointment too, but I will give credit to the Eagles organization for trying something to improve their team. And it's the frustrating part I have with the office of the Cowboys is, focus on the defense. I see linebackers. I'm telling you, I agree with you guys in the chat. I mean, James looked good. Leafau looked good. Sanborn had a nice tackle in the first. I think the linebackers looked good. You could see the difference there. I'll go to the secondary. Elam played. Elam looks like he's as advertised of what he was in college coming into the NFL. A fresh start did him well so far, and maybe that's going to be the same for Menchie. I don't know. He came from Alabama. He was a really good receiver there, but so Elam has looked good. So there is some good things that we've seen so far. I mean, that's the good. I mean, the bad is just the run defense, like you said. I mean, the defensive tackle, you're just not seeing that. You're missing, obviously, Parsons. To me, that's the ugly part of it, because this shouldn't be. I mean, we don't need to get an hour conversation about Parsons, but this shouldn't be happening. He should be on the team. He should have been re-signed. It's crazy to me. I saw Eazy-E look good. Sam Williams was in there. He's making the defensive end. Some of those guys, they were getting pressure on the Ravens quarterbacks that were in there. So there are some good things. The ugly we talked about with Milton, it's just what happens if Dak gets hurt. Good luck. I mean, I think we'd all agree we're in trouble. So what are the good things that you saw on the defense that you touch on in the chat and Greg as well?
The defensive ends, like you said, for those when they did put the starters in, Easy got some good playing time. They played well. The middle is garbage. Mozzie is a paperweight. That's all he is, a paperweight. And that alone is why both teams that we just played against, both teams have had the quarterbacks back there eating a Reuben sandwich, waiting, drinking lemonade, waiting to find receivers. And even when they didn't have to do that, they hand the ball off. And I watched these guys not bust to the hole so they can get through. They took their time and got to the hole and walked right through the middle where Mozzie is. Is the middle is right now. It's preseason. I'm not getting too crazy because I know we got 90%.
But it's a trend. I mean, it's preseason, but it's a trend that the Cowboys have had for years, stopping the run, and they haven't addressed it. So I didn't mean to cut you off. But it's a trend.
But we can't fully say they haven't addressed it because it looks like the strategy is the fear of people getting hurt. So we're not playing our starters on that defensive line in these games, or even having them out there long enough to see if it's going to work for what we try to put up there. So I don't think we can really judge it until we start playing, because what we've seen out there for these last two games, those people aren't going to be in the middle of that defensive line.
No.
So we can't really judge it.
I don't know what you were watching. Defense did not look good against the run. Look better
that's what we said.
game, but not what we need, man. Not what we need. We got to get better.
Yeah, and right now, if we put the starters out there in this next game, and I would hope this next game they would at least not be as timid and put the starters out there, maybe for the first series, at least to get those legs wet, at least to get that motion up and down, get that loose so they can go through one series, just one series. If it ends up in 4 downs, then that's it. So we can see what they got, and to do the same thing on the defense, because I think right now the strategy is they're afraid of getting people hurt because they know how many people got hurt in preseason last year and then in training camp. And I think they want to try to Shotty wants to try to start the season off the best he can with as much health as he has. And Shotty's got nothing to lose, because no matter how this season goes, it's Shotty's first season. He's got nothing to lose. What's killing us on the side, the outside issue, is, like I said, the last show I was with you was about 2 weeks ago or so. Yeah. And I said, Jerry is taking this personal now. And I said, the fact that he's taking it personal now, it's going to get real ugly, because his old ass, when he takes something personal, logic doesn't kick in and say, okay, let me be the better man. No, he digs deeper. And that's where they are right now. And unfortunately, if Parsons gets signed and he comes in, we can't expect him to jump off the ball with the reflexes and everything, just like boom, boom, boom. But the linebackers, Keeman Hall, Damone Clark, all those guys, they're playing decent enough, good enough now that when the other starters come in with them, I'm starting to not have a concern about the linebackers right now. And
I feel good about the linebackers. I feel good.
And even the DBs are hustling they behind off. So it's not really that bad right now, but the run defense is garbage.
The run defense is a problem, but the DBs played better. I think there's still, obviously, you don't have Bland in there and Diggs. It definitely makes a difference. Obviously, if you had them in there and you had Elam and you're putting Bland in the slot, there's so many things that they could do if they were healthy, but they're not healthy, and that's a problem. And it just makes you wonder, because the Cowboys have just been hit with the injury bug the last season really bad. This season, it's kind of hit them a little bit in training camp, not as bad as last year, but just makes you wonder in the training and the facility, what they're doing. Is something going on? Because it just doesn't make any sense. And it was interesting that the players ranked the training and the training staff facilities, this and that. And Cowboys were rated very low by their players. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but health is a huge concern. And you're playing a 17-game season, and it's for every team. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you look at the division, and there's a key guy on every team. I mean, obviously, if Barkley were to go down, I mean, the Eagles are cooked. If Jaden Daniels were to go down, I mean, they're cooked. The interesting team is the Giants. Just looking in our division, Eagles haven't looked very good in preseason, but they're not playing their guys. Right. Washington's been but they're not playing they're not playing their guys. The Giants have been playing their guys, and they might be they might be a sneaky team as the year goes on, because they look like they're building something with Dart. If Jackson Dart ends up being the real deal, he's looked good in preseason first couple games. And you got neighbors. I mean, they got Abdul Carter they drafted. I mean, they're putting some pieces together. We play in week 2, which I'm happy about. We play in week 2. We're going to get them early. But these Giants might be a thorn in your side later down the road. I'm not saying they're going to be a playoff team. Yeah. I'm not going to say they're going to be, but they can be a thorn in your side in this division if they continue to grow. If Jackson Dart ends up being the real deal, they're going to start with Russell Wilson. But if you look at their schedule, I think the Giants' first 6 games are going to be in trouble. And then after that, they may turn to Dart, and Dart could give him some sort of spark, some sort of trouble. But he looks like he looks pretty good. He looks pretty good.
Here's the difference in the Giants right now. The reason why the Giants look so good, and I admit they look good. The reason why the Giants look so good, because they were in last place last year, they have to play all their starters that they got right now just to see how good they think they're going to be. They don't have the opportunity to say, okay, all you starters, I'm going to sit y'all on the bench, and then we're going to play these guys. No. Last year, they were so discombobulated. They got to play everybody in this preseason so they can see who they really have. So you got the Giants starting team playing preseason. That's why they're looking good, because everybody else was preseason or playing backups to see who can win a job. Yes, they look good even against preseason, but that's why they look good. And I saw that, and I said to myself, the Giants might be something we need to think about. But then I said, wait a minute. They're playing all their starters because they were in last place. They need to see everybody on the team. And they're playing against preseason teams that are where people are trying to gain a job. Now, I stopped and said, okay, knowing that in mind, we're not sure that the Giants are going to be able to stand up to the other starters teams when they play them. But at the same time, I said, let me look at him real good. Okay, Wilson looked decent. Of course, he's playing against the other backups. Jackson Dart looks to me. He looks good. Like the Giants may have named their starting quarterback a little bit too in a hurry. Jackson Dart looks naturally comfortable and
good decision making. He's made good decisions in the games that I've watched him. Very high percentage passes. I mean, it's just, it's going to be interesting. When they're fully loaded, and he's not playing with the starters. I mean, he's not playing with neighbors. He's not playing with the guys that they've got, right? He's playing with his backups, and he's just making good decisions. And I don't want that, right? Definitely don't want the Giants. And I don't think the Giants are going to be, like I said, I don't want people to flip out. Giants aren't going to be a playoff team, but they could be a thorn in the Cowboys and Eagles and the Redskins side down the stretch.
And if you're if you're a Giants fan, you're motivated. If you're a Giants fan, you're motivated compared to what you saw last year.
Oh, absolutely.
Because everything's riding on Wilson and Jackson Dart. But go back to what we were talking about with Milton. If that goes down, I'm not that much worried. Well, I'm worried about that going down, period. Absolutely.
Yeah, don't let that happen.
But Will Greer, as much as a lot of people say we probably should have kept Trey Lance, Will Greer, if he had to come in, he would I'm comfortable with feeling that he will make better decisions than Joe Milton. I really do. Yeah. I think he would manage the game better than Milton. And he's been around a while where he feels naturally and he's comfortable in that environment. So if we had to go, if they brought in Milton and Milton just wasn't doing it in a couple series, I'm sure they would bring in Will Greer, and then we'll be back in the Cooper Rush situation.
And that's what Cooper Rush is. Yeah, I saw Mingo hobble off. I wasn't sure if it was an injury or not, but and I honestly have been out of pocket since all day today because I drove back from the party I was telling you guys about. So yeah, I mean the only thing I think it hurts Mingo is it opens a door for Holden and opens a door for another receiver. I don't think Mingo was unseating Tolbert unless Tolbert were to get moved. And we talked about that and I did a video. He's the one piece that if they wanted to improve their run defense, if they wanted to try and get something, he's a player of value that could bring value to a team that was maybe a little thin at receiver, maybe heavy at D tackle. That would be attractive. But I don't know if that changes anything, but yeah, Mingo is kind of locked into that, what I'd call 4-5 spot, because I think Turpin is going to be not your legit 3, but I think he's going to be in certain schemes and certain sets. He's going to be your 3. They're going to put him on the field. So unfortunate, but I think Holden, I mean, it opens an opportunity for him. He's looked good so far in training camp and opportunities he's got. He's looked pretty good. So we'll see what happens. The offense, I'm just going to tell you, I don't know if you agree, Greg. The offense, even though it's been preseason, I'm not worried about the offense. I think our offensive line is going to be solid with the starters there. I think our running game will be effective. I think our receivers are going to be really good. I think I think we're going to put up points. The problem, what I'm seeing, is on our defense. The inability to stop the run, injuries in the secondary that you're going to have some guys out there playing cornerback that are probably going to be in a lot of trouble against the Eagles and against some of these teams that have some big time wide receivers. And, if you don't have Diggs and, in the lineup and some of these guys injured, you could present a problem. So that's the 2 areas for me: stopping the run and our secondary being healthy. That's where the Cowboys, to me, could be in trouble this year.
Yeah, and I didn't see much of Kalen Carson, so he's probably still out there rehabbing. But you're right. Surprisingly, to me, the DBs are playing just a little bit. I don't want to give them a whole bunch of credit, but they're playing a little bit better than I expected, considering the situation we're in. Because I knew it was the defensive line and the DBs I was more concerned about. Now, between the two, I'm more concerned about the defensive line. Yeah. And because our offense, if you think about it, Joe Milton's gotten the time that he needs. The offense is giving him the time, but he's just making a bad decision. So this is mixed some first, and mostly second string offensive line. Wait till the first string offensive line come in. Offense will be better, and then all those receivers. Flournoy will get a better opportunity to come in now because if Mingo's hurt. Cropper even, and Holden, because Holden is playing good ball. So receivers, no big problem. But that defensive line, the edges are great, but that defensive line and that those 2 coming up that hole, man, it is. I saw Mozzie on the sideline. They were talking about Mozzie and said this was the year Mozzie was supposed to prove himself, and blah, blah. Mozzie was just huffing and puffing, and said Mozzie even admitted this week about he hasn't done what he needs to do. When a player like him, first round draft pick, who disappointed, and then he's coming in this with 3rd season and he's disappointed. When a player like that says that by his 3rd season, it goes back to what I said on the show a couple weeks ago. Mozzie has gotten comfortable and complacent on the team. He got paid in the 1st round. He's comfortable just playing football and taking a job with his lunch bucket, and that's it. He's not trying to be the best he can be. And if Mozzie got cut or traded from this 53, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, because right now he's a huge liability. And I don't know who else I know we got other players, but I don't know who else they're going to put out there to start over Mozzie. And it'd be a shame if Mozzie has to be the backup and the backup to the backup on that defensive line when he was a 1st round draft pick.
Yeah, let me show you this. I had this with Kelly. I got to change things up a little bit and get my eyes right. Let me get you. Where are you at, Greg? Where? I'll find you. Wait a minute. Is it here? Is it here? Where can I get us? What's going on? Hold on. Why is this not working? Come on. Hold on. Let me put you back and bring you back in. All right. I can't get it to work. I don't know what's going on. Oh, here we go. I got you. I had to find it. I did it yesterday. I apologize. So this is the unofficial depth chart where they're at now. It may be an eye chart for you, Greg. I don't know. I apologize. I didn't share it, but
that's good.
Looking at D tackle and I mean, looking at what we got, you got Mozzie, you got Toya, you got Winfrey. Obviously, Solomon Thomas is in there. I mean, could you just get rid of Mozzie? I mean, it's not going to hurt, but I mean, he's a body, and there's not a lot of bodies there. It's almost like they're stuck with him this year, unless they make a trade, unless they do something and get someone of value if they can get someone in here. But to your point, the depth and what they got outside of Osa, I mean, Solomon Thomas he's been okay. He hasn't lived up to being the 4th or 3rd overall, whatever he was in San Francisco. He's looked decent. He's looked okay in camp and stuff, but you haven't seen him in the game. So obviously, at least I haven't. If he played, I missed it. So I'm not sure. Maybe they feel high enough about him. He doesn't really need any reps. But this is not a formidable defensive tackle group, is it?
Well, I'm looking at it. Remember what I said last time on the show about Perion Winfrey? Look out for him because he's playing good. Perion Winfrey is playing good. If I look at this defensive tackle line and somebody told me pick the weakest link, automatically Mozzie. Automatically Mozzie. Even over Solomon Thomas. Because Mozzie is the weakest link by far on that defensive tackle line. We got a decent defensive tackle scheme. We just haven't seen the starters stay in there a lot because they don't want to get them hurt because it might be thin. But I think the best thing for the Cowboys, unless they can work some kind of motivation and inspiration in Mozzie, because Mozzie just seems like the guy that just doesn't have any inspiration at all, is to trade Mozzie and get somebody else because somebody else is going to be hungrier. I really feel anybody they trade to bring in over Mozzie is going to be hungrier and more determined to play that position better than Mozzie's playing. Mozzie just, to me, just seems like he's comfortable where he's at, and that's it. And he might be saying, if I can just get through this season right here, I don't care where they trade me next year. I just want to get through this season, get paid. Because Mozzie is the weakest link on that list that I'm looking at. I saw
he looks disinterested. He looks disinterested.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. I saw some flashes of Brown. I saw a flash of Daxon. I even saw a flash of King Besote. I even saw a flash of them in that first game. But Mozzie, unless the commentators talked about Mozzie, about him needing to step up, I didn't hear nor see Mozzie do anything.
No. But I mean, when you look at this, it's where, offensively, I mean, I don't see a problem really anywhere. I mean, I think the offensive line, I mean, between, obviously, Guyton's going to be, coming off he's going to be injured. So you got Nate Thomas in there who's played pretty well, but that's left tackle. So they're going to have to make sure that they're not leaving Dak out to dry. You know what I mean? They're going to have to be smart in their protection and making sure he gets rid of the ball quickly. But Tyler Smith, all pro. Cooper Beebe, solid. Tyler Booker looks like the real deal. Terrence Steele looked much better latter part of the season. Jake Ferguson, you expect to get him back to where he was before the injuries. Wide receivers, between Pickens and CD and Tolbert and Turpin, I think you're fine there. I mean, after that, I mean, they're guys, but I mean, there's guys that can step up if need be, but you're not going to go much deeper than 4 or 5 with your receivers as far as impact guys. Running back, you just haven't seen a lot of them, but Williams and Sanders and Blue and Vaughn. Vaughn, I think, will be the odd guy out, in my opinion. Maffa looked good in his opportunity. Malik Davis, like you said, he looked fine in his opportunities as well. Lipke in there. So offensively, I think the Cowboys are ready to roll. It's just they haven't played. So it's how do they respond in week 1? And this is what I was talking about. Let me switch it up real quick. That way they see a better smiling face and understand the seriousness that I'm talking about, because now I'm going to get serious with you guys. is you're looking at this schedule, and I've said it. The Cowboys got to start fast.
Mm-hmm.
They got to start fast. Now, let's just be honest with each other. And I expect to win every game. That's the way I am. That's the way I live. I don't expect to lose. That first game, that's a tall order. That's going to be tough to go into Philly opening night and win that game. So I'm okay. I'm not happy, but I'd be okay, if that doesn't work out in our advantage. The next two games are critical. The Giants and the Bears. If Dallas stumbles in that's when I would be I'd start being concerned if I was a Cowboys fan.
Mm-hmm.
If they lay an egg against one of those two teams, those are two games they should win. Mm-hmm. And those are two teams they better win, because unless they beat Philly, if they are going to beat Philly and they drop one of those two, then you're like, all right, it was a hangover. It was a letdown game, whatever. But if they go lose to Philly and they drop one of those two games, that's not good. I mean, those are winnable games, and they need to stack up those wins because that schedule gets brutal down the stretch.
Yeah, and my concern with that is this Micah Parsons issue is going to play a huge disadvantage on our defense against Philly. If we don't get him signed now so he can break the eggshells off and really get in there and grind, because going against that first game in Philly, we need everybody. We need everybody so we can see exactly what we got. If we lose to Philly, we can't get blown out. It's got to be a game where it's going back and forth to show that, yeah, we got the firepower and now we're ready to go. And if we lose it close, okay. But those two next games after that, it shouldn't be a doubt that we win those games. And if we have to play those two games close and we don't have Micah Parsons, it's sickening. It is sickening because, like I said, with Jerry and Micah Parsons' situation and Jerry taking it personal, it's affecting the psyche of the team. You better believe those defensive players who were expecting Micah to be back there, the captain, be back there, knowing what Micah brings to it, helps enhance what they do, and it motivates them to do what they do more, knowing that they got that anchor. That anchor isn't there. So now it can be possibly an influx. And the plays that Micah will make on that defense will make a difference in that Philly game and those next two games if he's on the field versus if he isn't. They might be the critical plays that defense could have had the stops that they needed if Micah was there to change the balance of the game. And Jerry, unfortunately, he is all in on personal, and he's not going to change. And what he's banking on is that Micah, like McLaren, like Trey Henderson, all three of them realize that they don't want to lose money. They show up, but they end up playing when the time comes because they don't want to lose that money, and they're going to play angry. But if these guys decide not to play because of that, and Micah's that type of guy, Micah's more concerned about being a football player than the money, because he's got enough money to sustain it this first season if he wants to deal with that and send a message. Then Jerry just making the biggest mistake in NFL history for the Cowboys at this point.
Yeah, it's just been handled bad. And Bobby, what's up, my man, Bobby? Hopefully you're doing good. You'll see you out at AT&T. But I said the Giants. So I said the Giants are playing what? The Dallas Cowboys at home opening day should beat the Giants. I don't rule out any team. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys are a better football team than the Giants today, and they need to win that game at home. Yeah. At home, they better win that damn game. I'm not ruling them out, but they better win that damn game at home. They need to win those two games that I talked about, because then we got the tailgate party week 4 with the Packers. That's going to be that's going to be another tough game. We didn't do no cupcake for this tailgate party. We did a real deal. We're doing the Packers. We're going to get that revenge. We're gonna spank that ass. We get them paddles that Cuts is making for everybody. But yeah, there's no gimmies. Any team in the NFL, there's no gimme. There's no gimme. But we gotta be honest with ourselves. You better win those two games at home against the Giants and on the road against Chicago. Chicago's got a new coach. They're putting a new scheme in. You know, Caleb Williams has been okay. He hadn't lived up to his hype. Dallas should beat them early. I wouldn't want to play Chicago later, and I wouldn't want to play the Giants later. But early on in the season, the Cowboys need to win that game. So
yeah,
go ahead.
No, because we're playing them These are teams that are trying to resurrect who they are. They were awful last year. So if you get them early in the season while they're still trying to meld, while they're still trying to get it all together to see just how good they are and get that juice running, then we can take advantage of them. And then they can look back game 6 or 7 saying, man, we're finally there. But if we were there at the beginning of the season, we probably could have got them Cowboys. But this is a perfect time to take advantage of them. Now, the
it's
Eagles,
not who you play, it's when you play them.
Yeah, and the Eagles, that win, like you said, I want us to win. I think with what I see, we got a good chance of winning it. But I'm not banking on saying, oh, man, we lost to the Eagles. No, because we're playing them at home, and we know they're the Super Bowl champs. And they didn't step off much. They only lost maybe 2 or 3 players, good players, through the trades and stuff. But and like long as they got Saquon, those boys are going to be a beast. But it's just imagine this. The Eagles are the Eagles Super Bowl champs because of one guy. Yeah, it takes 53. But
yeah, I like it. I mean, he's important. It's not the whole reason.
And if he's not in that lineup regularly this season, our division is up to us and the Commanders. Yeah. So, and the Commanders without McLaurin, if we play them and McLaurin isn't on that team, there's an opportunity. And this is the sophomore year. There's an opportunity. So I see a good opportunity for us to stay in that top 2. If everybody comes out, all the starters come out and they're playing well. And we can't complain about injury. Well, some, but we can't complain about the massive injuries we had last year at training camp. Now it looks like the majority of the players are going to start fresh. And that wide receiver line, the only thing I see in that wide receiver line was maybe Holden over Kelly. Kelly's decent, but Holden to me is a solid keeper.
Yeah, I like him. And I would just say, yeah, they lost some on defense, but they lost some of the guys and replaced them with young guys that they already had. So that's what I would say with them. Bobby's asking about the head coach. Your thoughts on Shoddy? I'll just give you my opinion. I like what I hear. I like everything that he says, everything he's doing, his actions, everything that goes with it. He comes from a good bloodline of coach with his dad. Marty Schottenheimer was a great coach in the 80s and 90s. He went to the playoffs every team he went to. He was good with the Redskins, with Daniel Snyder. He was actually good with them, which is amazing. But you just don't know. I mean, he's a first-year coach. Same thing with Chicago. I mean, that guy's got all the hype, but there's no tape and there's no seeing how they're going to be as a coach. So I'm hoping that he is everything that I believe he'll be, but I'll be honest, I don't want to lie. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't either. So it's one of those show me. I got to wait until the season starts, see what kind of decisions he makes on the sideline, play calling, and the use of timeouts and the use of challenges and stuff like that. I just got to see him in action, coaching, and also how the players look motivated on the sideline and what is he doing. So yeah. We've come to love Shoddy based on what we see during training camp, and initially the shock, and then now we're like, okay, we see what he's changing in the culture, because that made a big influence on me, inspiring me to like Shoddy based on how he's enforcing the culture there. I just feel like Jerry Shoddy's going 5 steps forward. Jerry is taking him 3 steps back with this Micah Parsons things, and knowing Shoddy's not going to run up to Jerry and run off the mill and say, look, man, my culture is shining the way I want it. Now you're causing a problem where you can breach the motivation in my players in the culture that I'm instilling because of what you're doing with Micah. And none of the rest of the players feel safe about that. So I'm kind of concerned about that affecting Shoddy and Shoddy's decision-making, and even Eberflus. Eberflus, I bet you when he came in, the majority of how he wanted to run that defense was going to go through the fact that he has the power of Micah Parsons and what he can utilize Parsons in and into manipulating that defense the way he wants in linebacker and in defensive end or coming up the middle. But now he doesn't have them, so he hasn't had opportunity to work Micah in none of the schemes. And Eberflus people may blame Eberflus if the defense continues to falter, when in fact he never had the opportunity to use his most valuable weapon and
Yeah.
put it in the schemes that he's designed for him. And if he can't, that changes everything on the defense, because his schemes, when he came in, he was probably chopping at the grip, talking about, oh man, I got Michael Parsons and I got these schemes on how I'm going to use him in that defense, and it's going to allow these other players to do this and Michael to do this. Boom, pull Micah out. What am I going to do with that? That is the main plug in that artery, and it's going to hurt Eberflus. It's going to hurt his reputation big time if he doesn't get a chance to get in there, no matter what shot he does. No matter what shot he does. But let me say something real quick. Count Christo said something. I've been thinking about this too, about Vaughn. The running back is thick back there in running backs. Now, if they cut one of the veterans that they brought in and they keep Deuce Vaughn for continuity purposes because he's been with us, okay. But Deuce Vaughn may be the odd man out as a running back, depending on how they look at these running backs.
He should be. I mean, I just haven't seen anything from him on an NFL level. Great college. I hadn't seen anything on NFL. I saw some questions on running backs. The thing I would say, that the running backs you just don't know because they haven't really played. Javonte Williams hasn't played. Jadon Blue hasn't played. Sanders was very limited. Maffa looked good in his opportunities. We talked about Malik Davis, but he's probably not in the mix of getting playing time as one of the starters. And this is the thing is could be the mistake, maybe, but I was pounding the table for the Cowboys to get one of these running backs. This was probably the deepest running back class, and I thought they could have got a top, maybe a top tier guy. You see Henderson at New England. He's looked good so far. Obviously, Genty was gone. That didn't matter. He's looked good so far. Damian Martinez didn't go to like the 5th round from Miami. He looked pretty damn good in Seattle. He had 50 yards, 11 carries, couple catches, 20 yards. Tootin from Virginia Tech looked good. The running back, you see these rookie running backs are looking good in preseason. We don't know because Jadon Blue hasn't run the ball. So he could be in the class of those guys. You just don't know. So I don't know. I don't have high expectations of running back, but I don't have low. I don't know. I think Javonte Williams can be that guy. He's 2 years removed from his injury, but you got to see it on the field, and you ain't going to see it on the field till week 1. So week 1, they're going to find out because they'll be on the field, and we'll figure it out about this running game.
Yeah, and Jadon Blue, remember, he was injured in college, and so maybe they're looking at, well, we don't want to take a chance of him.
He got a little banged up in training camp, so I think that's one of the things they held him out for too. So
and he had, I saw him one time, he had one of those knee braces on, those metal knee braces on in training camp. But those other running backs you mentioned, and there's another one from Ohio State, I forgot his name, that came out. All of them are shining, and those guys came out healthy, and we had plenty of opportunities to grab either one of them because I just knew we were going to get the one from Ohio State that's playing with New England. I just knew we were going to get him, but we didn't. And why we didn't, I don't know. Jadon Blue is decent, but we haven't seen him. We know he had an injury in college, so maybe they're resting him for that. I don't know what he's going to do when he comes in, but Maffa may be the one that has to take the ropes and lead. I don't know, but it's going to really be interesting to see how they play when we start. But I like what I see in Malik Davis. Yeah, he ran against the second stringers, but I like what I see. For the first series. But I like what I see from Malik Davis. He may be a wild card that comes in that running back group that really says, we got all these running backs now, but Malik Davis came in off a plane 24 hours ago. Malik Davis looked like he might be somewhere close up in them starters, depending on how they run, because Malik Davis is playing for a job, and he's playing good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to dismiss him. He's been here for a while. I just think he's a body. I think he's a body for him, but he better not be the lead dog. If he is, we're in trouble. But I think Javonte Williams, I think Jadon Blue, I think, you're mixing in Miles Sanders, we talked a little bit about. They've got some guys. I just don't know. We don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to be running back by committee and just kind of see what happens and kind of go from there. But this was a really good running back class. It's going to be interesting to see how they develop this year, to see how they, kind of come up on the scene, because it was pretty deep. So we'll see what happens at running back. But again, offense with the Cowboys, I could lay my head on my pillow tonight and I will sleep sweet dreams and have no nightmares over our offense. I think our offense is going to be able to put up points. I think we'll be able to do all of that. I don't know about the defense. The defense, I'm still, and and I keep going back to what makes me feel okay is Eberflus's scheme, because he has always had a top defense everywhere he's gone as a defensive coordinator. So, and he's had not a lot of talent. Like there wasn't a lot of talent in Indianapolis, right? There wasn't a lot of talent there, but his defenses were top 10. His run defense was top 5. You know, he was able to do that. So I'm still hoping the scheme, but personnel wise, they're not to the level of the top defenses in the league, especially, I mean, without Parsons, they're definitely not. They're definitely. So that's where I wish you could see more, but I understand why you're not.
Yeah. And Rick, you're right. It was Judkins. That's the other one from the Ohio State.
Judkins was the guy. He got in trouble. He got a little bit of trouble, which we don't mind some trouble.
Yeah, we don't mind trouble.
It'll be interesting if he goes. But Hampton was another one I would have loved.
Yeah, Hampton. But Eberflus, man, I feel sorry for Eberflus because Eberflus has the opportunity to put together scheme-wise one of the better defenses we had. And it's atrocious that his number one defensive player is not in training on that training camp field and not playing these games, because I know in my heart of hearts, Eberflus's entire defensive operation is all centered around that nucleus, Michael Parsons. And because of that, even in training camp, he can't even practice a couple of his schemes. And if Michael gets signed, Eberflus will have to rush it in, and he could possibly make it work. By game 3, it could just be rolling. I mean, game 2 and 3 could be rolling. But I'm just afraid that even when our defensive starters come in, without Micah, I'm afraid that they're going to be able to take advantage of us, because that Energizer Bunny, he makes an entire difference of the entire offense mentally and physically. And think about it. Offenses, they scheme and they call plays based on Micah being on that defense. And now they don't have to worry about that. And I'm so concerned with an offense.
Well, the good thing is Micah he's there. He's participating in everything but the practices.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's there with the coaches. So he's not holding out. I mean, he's kind of, says he's holding out in a way, I guess, because he's not participating in the games and any of the drills and the practices. But at least he's there somewhat. But I mean, at the end of the day, life goes on.
Yes, next man.
And I mean, you can't sit there. If Mike is not there, then the only thing I would say, and this is just a reality of it, the deepest position this team has on defense is their edge.
The edge.
I mean, if there's a position where you can lose a guy, and I mean, you do not want to lose Micah Parsons. Understand that. He's a generational kind of guy. He's a difference maker. The edge is, I mean, you got Fowler and you've got Sam and you've got Eazy-E. You got guys kneeling. I mean, you got guys there that can hopefully get it done somewhat. They're not going to be Micah Parsons. I think to your point's 1,000% sure. What he was probably wanting to do with Parsons, he's talked about it, up the gut, moving him around, sliding him all over the place. You're not doing that with Sam Williams. You're not doing that with Nealon. You're not doing that with Easy. You're not doing that with your other pass rushers, Fowler. You're not doing that. You could do that with Micah Parsons because he's that kind of guy. Yeah. But that's the part that is really that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. Is that part of it for sure?
And because he wanted to use him like that in that scheme, Micah has a way of getting through that line up the middle that other players can't. And what it does is, by Michael getting up in there, it forces the quarterback out in the jaws of the defensive tackles. Because without Michael coming up that gut, now they know we got some hell of a defensive ends. I mean, the defensive ends. They're going to have plays where they get the ball up the middle quick. So the defensive ends don't have a chance to get there. But with Michael coming up the middle, now that forces them to have to go outside some, or Michael gets through that middle because those big offensive linemen, they can't maneuver like Michael. Now Michael's forcing that quarterback to go out, and guess who he's running? He's running into the jaws of the defensive ends. And that's what I said. There's nobody else on the team that can get up that middle like Michael Parsons' quickness and maneuvering that can force them out to the defensive ends. And that's what's going to mess up Eberflus's biggest scheme. That one player going up that middle has to be Micah Parsons. Without that, teams are going to say, well, shit, let's hand the ball off quick and get it up the gut before the defensive ends get around that corner to get us. And long as that defensive line can't stop us, we're good. 5-10, 5-10. Then we throw the ball. And that's why I'm saying I feel sorry for Eberflus, because he's going to take the blame on defense when he doesn't even have his most valuable player running up that gut to force that quarterback out into the jaws of the lines.
Yeah, doesn't have his weapons. But we got the weapons for you in the Cowboys Cave, and just wanted, one more quick shout out. Appreciate getting 360 plus of you guys hanging out in the cave. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already on YouTube, head over to YouTube. If you're watching on another platform, go over there and hit that subscribe button. If you are on YouTube and you're just checking us out for the first time, hit that subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. It always helps, man. It don't cost you nothing. And then more importantly, for you guys joining, if you don't know already, you better ask somebody. But we've got our Cowboys Cave tailgate party week 4 against the Packers, man. Lot 10. Cuts was already out there a few weeks ago. He's giving surveillance, checking the ground, make sure what spot is the best spot for the Cowboys Cave tailgate party. So we got everything figured out. He's got his custom Cowboys Cave paddles because we're going to be spanking that ass. That's our theme. So you can hit up Cuts by Jones. You can find him on all social media platforms, or just hit me up or anyone else as part of the channel, and we'll get you connected with them. You can get those for $40. All the money goes to the tailgate, cover food expense, parking, which Jerry Jones really likes to stick it to, if you guys don't know, on parking and all that other stuff. So make sure, and if you don't do that, you just want to come hang out, it don't cost nothing, man. We accept donations, but you could go there. You don't need to pay nothing if you don't want to. Come hang out with the crew. It's all Cowboys fans. We might have a mix. It might be a couple Packers fans there, but they're going to be well behaved. I promise you that. It's going to be a great time. So make sure you guys definitely check it out. We definitely appreciate it. And again, all the new subscribers will be getting a bunch. This football season is going to be fun. Friday, I've had every problem with preseason. Dropped my daughter off at college. On one game. I had my buddy's 50th birthday, the other game, so I was able to watch it. But Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern, I believe the Cowboys play the Falcons. We're going to do live stream. We're going to live stream at least the first half, maybe longer, see how it goes. But you guys can come in. We'll watch the game together. We'll talk a little bit about the season. There's not going to be all the scrubs will be in by that time, but it's still going to be fun. It'll get us in the mood, because the season is right here, man. September 4th, I think, at kickoff. And I'm going to be in Miami for the Notre Dame game that Sunday before, to watch my Hurricanes beat the hell out of Notre Dame. It's going to be an orange. It's an orange out. So I got to make sure I got my orange jersey, so we're going to be good. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So football season, man, it is right here. Great college football weekend. Then we got the NFL kickoff on the 4th. Then we're going to be rolling. So definitely hit up the Cowboys Cave and be part of the family. We love you, and thank you very much. Greg, any other final thoughts? Because I said I got to be done in an hour. I got my wife waiting. We got our shows to watch, all this kind of stuff. But we did a special Sunday night. But for you guys who don't know, Greg and I, we do Sunday morning. So if you guys can get up get up early like us old guys, we do a Sunday morning show before kickoff, before the games get going. So we'll be back to doing that regularly. So definitely tune in for that. But Greg, what else is on your mind to wrap this baby up?
Well, first of all, about our Sunday shows, if you guys on Saturday night are going to hang out there with the Owls at night, you better be ready to wake up and fly with the Eagles in the morning. So be ready for the show.
Not those Eagles.
I'm just excited. I'm still going to be hoping that Mike and them work out some kind of sign before the season starts so we can get Micah in there, because somebody was saying, it don't take Micah but a minute to get himself together. And I believe in that because it's motivation. And I just can't wait, man. I just can't wait for the season to start. But I want to see Micah back on the team. I want to see him back in the team. I want Jerry to bow down and accept some crow and really be a man about this so we can move forward.
No, I mean, that's what it is. Get rid of the distraction, get rid of the noise, get rid of all that stuff. And unlike Kelly, I will say this. I believe Kelly 100% is not going to watch it. I will be watching the Netflix. I got to watch it. So I'm going to be watching it. So we will definitely, I'll probably do a show one of the nights the next day, kind of like a thought, my thoughts on the first episode. I mean, I lived it. Greg lived it. Any guys, back in that day definitely lived and loved those stories. And it was an amazing era of football. It was pre-social media. I don't know how good that dynasty would have went in the today's world with social media, but that was a wild group. And we've had a lot of those players on our channel. So again, if you're new to the channel, you can go back and see some of those interviews. We had a lot of the guys from those 3 Super Bowl teams on this show, and they've shared some stories too. Some of them pretty funny. So definitely I'll be watching it. So it'll be interesting, right? Greg, you're gonna watch it, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I just need to find out when it's coming on.
The 19th. I think it's Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday.
Starts on Tuesday.
I'll be watching it for sure.
Yep, we'll check it out. But everyone else, love you guys. Thank you. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening. Great week. It's 1 week closer to the NFL season and college football season, so I can't wait. Greg, as always, love having you, and you have a good evening as well. And we'll see you guys hopefully Monday night. Jimmy and I will be live, so we'll see you then. You guys take care. See you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
Good show.
Yes, sir.